Steve Wright in the afternoon. Now playing everywhere.
Judging by the warm memories, the radio DJ Steve Wright was, in person, everything he appeared to be on his shows. His colleague, Sarah Cox, said his death at the age of 69 had left Radio 2 shattered. He was, she said, witty, warm and a huge part of the station's family. For nearly 40 years on Radios 1 and 2, he combined professionalism and personality to create a two-way bond with his audience. He was only on air this Sunday, while now the world of radio is in mourning for the voice behind Steve Wright in the afternoon.
We will tell you about a marriage where the groom is 103 years old and the bride is 107.
If good radio is about making the listener feel like they're part of the gang, Steve Wright was a master at it. For more than 40 years, he was a mainstay presenter on the BBC's biggest music stations. But his shows were about a lot more than putting records on.
I just wanted to not be talking about the music guy. I wanted to talk about things. So whatever it was that concerned people, television or it could be radio, could be royalty, it could be anything that's about life. They're all double parked out there, you sure? Yeah!
Wright was a pioneer. He changed the way music radio sounded. In between the songs were stories, characters and comedy. He created a format that so many have copied for his Radio 1 show, Steve Wright in the Afternoon. It drew in big stars, while his big-hearted, friendly approach won an audience of many millions.
He's died at the age of 69. Obviously, this is it's a tricky announcement to make.
The task of announcing Wright's death to radio audiences this afternoon was difficult for presenters who'd worked alongside him.
He made radio that you couldn't switch off. You know, you didn't have it on in the background. You leant in and listened because it was so funny and so clever and so smart. And I think he's the only presenter I've ever known who works all morning prepping the show and then goes in and works all afternoon doing the show. He put absolutely everything into that programme.
Hello there, good evening. I'm Steve Wright. Welcome to Top of the Pops. We have an excited crowd.
There were forays into television where he was a regular on Top of the Pops, but radio remained Steve Wright's favourite medium. And at the BBC, he was known for being kind and supportive to younger colleagues, among whom his death has come as a profound shock.
When I started at Radio 2 in 2013, he was absolutely lovely. He was the kindest, most generous, warmest man, and he always looked out for people. He took people under his wing. He was a really, really lovely man, and we're all absolutely devastated.
And I'm back for more love songs next Sunday. Ta-da then.
Steve Wright was last heard on air at the weekend on his Sunday Love Songs programme on Radio 2. The station's boss said tonight that Wright understood the connection and companionship that radio engenders better than anyone, and we all loved him for it.
Radio DJ Steve Wright, the master of his art, whose death was sadly announced today. He invited me onto his show a couple of times, and I have to say, he was an absolute gent.
You know, sometimes people want you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they want to make changes, give you another offer, and that's okay. I understand that. I really understand that.
And how would you sum up how you're feeling? You said you've got some things in the pipeline as well.
Well, there's lots of projects, yeah. I've been offered loads of stuff at the BBC, and I'm staying at Radio 2. So what it actually means for me is rather than working 6 days a week, I'll be working maybe 2.5 days a week for the BBC, for Radio 2. So, maybe I can get lunch, maybe I can have a rest, whatever for a little while. So it's okay. I'm cool.